I'm here. Let's get touch. You're good?
Not yet.
We're dancing.
Love that.
We're dancing.
Super cute.
Thank you.
Show us some-
Dancing is always good.
Yeah. It's good, you know, cardio.
We might just start from the top again one more time. Just bust through this really quickly. And
Right. There we go.
there we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the No Theaters Play Underground. I am Henry Bateman, the technical director here at the No. Can everybody hear us? Hopefully, people can hear us. If you can hear us, we would love a comment saying that you can hear us.
An emoji.
An emoji. We are trying to give you Emily, Caitlin.
The greatest gift of all.
I think we're up and running now. Yes. Wonderful. Okay, we're up and running. So I'm Henry Bateman, the technical director here at the No. Thank you for being here with us tonight. We are here with Emily Borst for cookies and cocktails with Emily, and we're super excited for that. And we're so glad that you all are here with us. But before we get started, I do want to thank our sponsor, Joe Mock, and the Real Pro team at Color Real Estate. We miss hanging out with you in the underground, so we do these things on Facebook instead. So thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you to Joe Mock. Cheers to you for your continued support of all of the things we do here at the No. As I asked earlier, before the technical difficulties happened, Emily, what is cottagecore?
Well, if you were here for the first test, you know that it is Folklore by Taylor Swift. And if you already heard that joke, give me a sympathy laugh. Anyway, it's kind of just like a return to more basic things. Like, I mean, a lot of people got into it during quarantine just because there wasn't a lot to do. So it's like baking, having houseplants, wearing sweaters. It's very aesthetic, got really big on TikTok. It's something I realized that I was way after the fact, and people were like, "You're so cottagecore," and I was like, "What does that mean?" It's a good thing. It's fun. It's cozy. So we're kind of gonna do some of that tonight.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to it. So take it away, Emily. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. Okay, we're good. Everyone can see me.
Yes, we have some love in the chat.
Thank
for
you.
Emily Borst.
Oh, wow. I love you people telling me you love me. Okay, so if you were here earlier, you already heard this spiel, but sorry, you're hearing it again. Thank you for being here. We're going to make some Snickerdoodles. I bet you can't read this, and that's okay. It's pretty. Snickerdoodles are basically sugar cookies with some cinnamon sugar on them, and they also have the addition of cream of tartar. So that kind of gives them their like more snickerdoodly flavor. Tart's a bad word for it because I feel like that implies that they are sour, but they definitely have a different bite than a sugar cookie would. We are also going to make an apple cider Rita, which is either going to be good or disgusting. I'm not sure. And I thought it would be best to test it live and let you know. I was thinking about making it yesterday and trying, but then I was like, that's silly. The people want to know. So we're going to start first with the Snickerdoodles. So I had thought about maybe like prepping some stuff. I mean, obviously I did. I don't just keep a bunch of ingredients on my counter at all times. But so the first thing we're going to do is get a cup of unsalted butter. So a cup of butter, if you don't know, it's just 2 sticks of butter, which is a lot of butter. And that means this is going to be good. So in the real world, you would like soften these in advance. But if you're anything like me, I decide like 10 minutes ago that now is the moment for Snickerdoodles. I have not softened my butter. So there's a lovely invention called a microwave. And we're going to put that in there. And I usually just start with 30 seconds because, you know, you can always melt it more. You can't bring it back to being solid unless like you decide you're going to freeze it. So I kind of just do small increments to make sure it's more softened than it is melted. If you're a cookie purist and you're watching this right now, I'm sorry to offend your sensibilities. I'm just telling you how it is because I don't know. I don't prep to make cookies 10 hours in advance. And if you do, that's great. Good for you. So our 30 seconds are almost up. I'm going to test them. They're good. They're pretty soft, so I'm going to go with it. I'm going to dump them in my mixing bowl. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can't make these cookies. I'm totally joking. You can make these cookies with a handheld mixer. You could make it with a whisk if you want to. I know when I like first started living on my own, I didn't have any sort of mixer, so it was just like a spoon and a bowl for me, and it takes some, elbow grease, but that'll work too. I'm gonna go ahead and just set that in the sink. I usually like to clean as I go, but another fun thing with my apartment is my sink is really, really loud, and I don't want to subject you to that. So next thing, we're gonna add 1.5 cups of sugar. That's also how you know a recipe is good, is when there's a bunch of sugar. Oh, and at any point, if you weren't here earlier, I introduced my lovely, lovely, wonderful friend, Julie, and my assistant for the night. She's off to the corner. You can't see her, but I promise she's not imaginary.
Hello.
She's there. I just threw my voice. But she's here. She's checking those comments. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. And I'll try to respond to them. So what we're going to do is cream together the butter and the sugar, which I know sometimes if you see that in recipes and you're not into baking, you might be like, cream, what the heck does that mean? Basically, it just means you're gonna mix them up. I usually would do a little higher. It might be loud. I will try to project. I have a theater degree for a reason, and it's for talking over a mixer. So creaming just means you're gonna kind of beat it together for more like 2 minutes as opposed to like 10 seconds. Full disclosure. Sometimes I don't feel like creaming it, and I just mix it together for 10 seconds. And honestly, most of the time it tastes exactly the same. While this is happening, I forgot to preheat my oven. So another classic, if you decide to bake cookies at 9:30 at night, you might forget to preheat your oven. So we're just going to go ahead and do it now. We got plenty of time. So it's 375. Julie's over here giggling.
You guys are so funny.
Amazing. I love it. Anyway, I'll read all your comments later. So if you say anything mean, say it to my face. Anyway.
Alex did say that if you want to, Emily has an Instagram where she cooks. So shout out to...
I do have a cooking Instagram. If you're watching this and you're like, this neurotic girl's kind of fun. It's called letter E as in Emily, the word and, an M. So it's E and M's Kitchen, which is a little confusing. I'll try to link to it at the end. We'll figure it out. Great. Perfect. So you can follow me there for some cooking videos. Sometimes I will give out my food if you want it. So that's also an option. Because, I've always, just kind of my own journey with baking. I've always loved it. My mom would always bake things. I would bake it with her. And by that, I mean, like, she'd let me add the vanilla extract. And I was like, wow. But as I got older, it was just something I always enjoyed doing. And especially into college, it's how I would trick people into being my friend. Because if you bring people a plate of cookies, like, they're going to like you. So it does work. It's always a good icebreaker. It's always a good thing to do. It makes people happy. And I always love to make people happy. So we've creamed it for a good amount of time. I don't know how to show you. Basically, see, it's all nice and together. It's not super lumpy. It just creamed like cream. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So put that back in there. So how I like to do things in Emily's kitchen. Some people like to mix like all the wet ingredients and all the dry ingredients in separate bowls and fold them in all nicely. And that is all well and good. But usually I'm more of all just like a dump it all in and it'll sort itself out kind of a person. So for this, that is a great idea. For other things, like if you're deciding, I like to bake pastries sometime. If you offend the pastry gods, they will smite you. So when you are making pastries, I would not recommend the just dump it all in and whatever happens, happens method, because pastries are crazy. But for cookies, like Snickerdoodles, chocolate chip cookies, throw it all in the bowl. Who cares? So we're going to get some eggs. So you're going to need 2 eggs. Crack them into the bowl so nicely. These are those fancy eggs that are the happy egg. They're like better than free range. What are they called? Pasture raised. They were on sale because I do want to support the chickens, but also I'm falling on a budget. And sometimes a dozen eggs for $6 is like a lot of money. But this was on sale for like $2. So when they're on sale, support the chickens. So it's 2 eggs is what we're throwing in there. Some people like to add vanilla extract to their Snickerdoodles. I do on occasion. For these, I'm not going to. I mean, it's got 1.5 cups of sugar. It's going to be pretty sweet. So putting those away. So yeah, I am gonna go ahead.
Alex has got you. She's gonna spam the chat with your handle, your Instagram.
Thank you, Alex. Alex Rouse, lovely lady, recently engaged. She's a queen and an icon of my heart. So we're mixing in those eggs now. And that'll just take a second. It's just to kind of get it incorporated so it doesn't look super lumpy. Another fun fact, a lot of recipes say use your eggs at room temperature. Once again, if you're like me and you decide 10 minutes before you're making cookies that you're making cookies, you can kind of just put them in there cold. Again, only really matters if you're making something intricate. Snickerdoodles, chocolate chip cookies, sugar cookies, peanut butter cookies, they're not that fancy. So you can kind of just throw them all in, they're gonna be fine. They might look different, but who cares? I'm not a food photographer, I'm just going to eat these. So we're gonna add next our baking soda, our cream of tartar, and our salt. We'll add flour last because I always like to add flour last, especially if you're gonna eat the cookie dough, because I'm of the belief that it tastes better before you add the flour, which is weird, but it's a thing I have an opinion about. Okay. So for our baking soda, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon. Oh, if you're new to baking and you're ever confused when it says TSP, that means teaspoon. And when it says TBSP, that means tablespoon. I know they're like really close to looking like the same thing, and I have messed it up myself, but just so you know. Fun fact, it took me until like my senior year, I went on a trip to England, and I didn't know teaspoons were an actual thing, like they're spoons for tea. I had no idea. See, just found out because we're Americans and we don't have spoons for our tea, because what do we make a tea for? So that's a fun fact that I truly didn't know, and I was like, guys, it's a teaspoon, and they were like, yeah, and I was like, but it's a teaspoon. Anyway, so fun fact, if you're ever, I've been like baking, balling on a budget before. If you're ever really balling on a budget, you can just use your spoon, tablespoon, boom. It's not exactly the same thing. Again, if you're a cookie purist watching this and you're screaming, I'm sorry, it's fun. Just calm down a little bit. Martha Stewart, why are you on this stream? Anyway. So then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar. That gives it its tart taste. Another fun fact in my baking escapades, one time I decided I was going to make Snickerdoodles before checking if we had cream of tartar. We did not have cream of tartar. I was at my dad's house. And so I was like, okay, I need a substitute. And the internet was like, you could use lemon juice and that would be almost the same thing. They tasted fine, but they did taste like lemon cookies. So cream of tartar is pretty essential to making Snickerdoodles if you choose to make some. Just so you know, lemon juice is not gonna cut it. So we're just gonna mix that in a little bit. And it's looking nice and pretty. Great. And I'm gonna toss these in the sink. Gorgeous. Shoot. Basically for these, I'm going to start with 2 cups of flour and see how they look. Because sometimes 2 cups is plenty and other times I need more. I'm sure it has something to do with science and moisture and altitude and all that nonsense. But I kind of just eyeball it because you want them to be like well enough, because we're going to form them. We're going to make them into little balls. So you want them to be able to do that, but not be like very crumbly and sad, because I also had that happen. So we're just going to mix it in a little bit at a time with the flour, just so we see where we're at. And while we're doing this, if you just tuned in now, hi, my name is Emily. I'm baking some Snickerdoodles.
It's like you felt Nakoma enter.
Nakoma's here. Hi, Nakoma. Nakoma's my best friend from Louisville. Hello. Shout out. Also, Caitlin's here. I mentioned Alex. Shout outs to all people who are here with me today. Tonight, where am I? Anyway.
Also, a lot of people didn't know what the teaspoon was, so you're really out here educating the people.
Right, I didn't know
Alex
either.
learned that tonight.
Right? I had no idea. I really didn't. Okay, so just for like a visual aid, it's like we're in a real class. So this dough, I'd say it's like a little too sticky. Like it's kind of sticking to my fingers. If I try to pick this dough up and like, we're just gonna do it. If I try to make it into a ball, it's like almost there, but it's like a little too sticky. So what I'm gonna do is just add a tiny bit more flour, and I like to go rogue in my kitchen, so I'm just dumping it in. Again, but I've done this a million times, so if that freaks you the fuck out, just like get a little bit of flour and just like put it in a scoop, whatever you need to do, Fred. Also, sorry if I'm not supposed to swear on this. I definitely just did, and I probably will continue to do so. So we're mixing that in. And let me see, we're gonna test if she's still good to make it to. I'd say just a teeny bit more, just because I don't want to get this all over my hands, which I will, but you know, we're just trying our best. That's going out. Oh, and I was gonna say, yes, hello, I'm Emily. This is the No Theater in Cincinnati. If you're just like a random person on Facebook that stumbled into this, welcome. And then I did want to make a point to say, there's this thing going on right now called the pandemic, if you've heard of it, and it's not been really great for like arts communities. So if you have the means, or if you're feeling charitable, please take some time, donate to the No, donate to Arts Wave, donate to theaters around you that you care about, donate to other arts organizations, because it's really hard to do a show when you can't like gather an audience, and it's really hard to do a show when you're trying to like profess your love to someone and they have to be 6 feet away from you. So theaters are having a really hard time right now. Lots of arts are like ballet, anything where the people gather and the people are close, they're having a bad time. So please, if you regularly would buy tickets, just consider taking that money and just donating it. It'll make you feel nice and happy in your heart. I'm sure places offer gift cards too. If you're like, I want to feel nice and happy, but I also want something for me, that's great. Just donate, maybe get a gift card, and then you can use that for hopefully when the theaters reopen soon and you can go see a show. So that was that little spiel for you. All right, I think this dough is good now. I'm trusting it.
What? You just gave it the gentlest
Just
of
pats. It's good. I feel it in my bones. My ancestors of the white people. I'm kidding. I feel like when people are like, my ancestors, and I'm like, I'm Irish. I didn't. Great. They did stuff. Anyway. So I've got my cookie sheets. Just lined parchment paper. So we're gonna need those in a second. Let me get a spatula. Welcome back. We're having fun. Gonna just get rid of all of this good stuff here. Speaking of the Irish people, and I couldn't find any reason about this. So today, when I'm at work sometimes and we're slow, I like to go on Wikipedia internet holes. And I found out that a lot of, because I was like feeling spooky because it's almost Halloween, a lot of vampire literature written by the Irish people. So I don't know what that's about. We were like, we're pale. This is pale representation. So that's always a fun internet hole to traverse down if you're slow at work. So for that distinctly Snickerdoodle cinnamon sugar, we're going to mix together some cinnamon sugar. And that is just going to be 2 tablespoons of sugar. Gorgeous. And my teaspoon's over there, so we're just going to use half a teaspoon, double the amount of times. And then we're going to have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. See, this was my job when my mom and I would make Snickerdoodles. She was like, you're in charge of mixing the cinnamon and the sugar. And I thought it was super important. And I would like mix it up and try to make it look like the most perfect blend of cinnamon sugar in the world. Yeah, these are the things you focus on as a child. So we got that going. Into the sink she goes. So what we are going to do is take our lovely Snickerdoodle dough. Just gonna, I mean, if you really want to scoop it out and measure it, just like a tablespoon would be good. And then you just roll it in the cinnamon sugar till it's nice and covered and beautiful. And you just gonna put it on your cookie sheet.
Wow.
It's pretty chill, right?
Art.
So what's nice with these is because they have enough flour in them that you really don't need to chill them, and they shouldn't spread out too much. Famous last words. But they should be fine. And once again, worst comes to worst with baking, you're just gonna eat it. So that's my thoughts on that.
Someone said Julia Childs would be proud of you.
Julia Child would be proud. Oh, thank you. Meryl Streep smiles upon me in this moment. That's a
Trisha.
Julia and Julia.
Patricia.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you. I was actually reading about Julia. Again, I get an internet bills at work. I do. And I just get on Wikipedia and I read about people. And I was reading about Julia Child and I felt represented because I think she was like 6 foot something. She was very, very tall. But if you watch the movie Julia and Julia, her husband is Stanley Tucci. It's Meryl Streep, but her husband's Stanley Tucci. And they're really, really cute. And I remember watching that with my mom. And my mom only liked the parts that were Meryl Streep. And the rest of the movie is Amy Adams. Let me know. I think it's Amy Adams, viewers. And every time we went back to Amy Adams, my mom was like, oh, it's the Amy Adams portion. I was like, Mom, what do you have against Amy Adams? I think she just like didn't care about that plot line. She just cared too much about the Julia Child plot line. That was funny.
God bless.
Are there any other good baking movies?
That's the only one I can think of.
I'm sure there's plenty.
There's
I'm
gotta
sure I'm
be,
thinking
right?
I'm like missing something very
The whole food
important.
membership.
The whole
Hallmark has to have one.
Hallmark movie, all of them. They're all about my name is Cassandra and I run a cookie shop and I fell in love with the firefighter who's also Santa.
My favorite combo. Firefighter Santa. What fires to call in the North Pole.
You got to. I've seen so many of those like not great Christmas films that always come out, but they're really fun. I was talking to, I think it was you. This is my friend Julie off camera. If you're joining in, I'm not crazy, at least not in that way.
I'm the ghost who lives in the apartment.
This is the ghost of Christmas past with me tonight.
I'm a creepy, shiny child.
Yes, and she's the child one from the Muppet Christmas Carol, the best Christmas Carol. But there was one I don't even think we could get through that was like a bunch of mystical creatures. And there was like the Tooth Fairy. I don't remember. It was crazy. But all the Netflix ones have been very fun. Oh, the one with Vanessa Hudgens.
Oh,
she's a baker.
art.
She's a baker in that one.
High
We
art.
figured out another baker movie. Yeah, I feel like that.
Caitlin says waitress.
Waitress, correct. That is a good one. I saw that musical, which was really fun. So I ended up seeing it with my friend Grace when it was on tour in Cincinnati, which was good luck. So I'm from Louisville originally, and my dad and I get season tickets in Louisville to see all the shows. And Waitress was going to come to Louisville in like a couple months after it came to Cincinnati, and then the Kentucky Center like caught on fire. And there was like a hole in the roof. It was a whole big thing. So they could not do Waitress, obviously, because the theater had burnt. So I'm glad that I saw Waitress beforehand. And I'm also really glad, I don't know if my dad's watching this. I don't think he is. But I'm glad I saw it with my friend Grace, because that show definitely has some adult themes. And there's definitely a whole song where people are there's several, two or three songs where people are just having sex with each other. And I was like, this would have been weird to watch with my dad. Not that I haven't seen strange shows with my dad. My entire family, so me, my mom, my dad, and my brother saw the Book of Mormon together. And we saw that for my 18th birthday. So it was like, welcome to adulthood. Here's a show where they sing a song about how God is terrible and they want him to die. Great stuff. But so we saw it, and I knew that it was going to be inappropriate because I'm like a big old theater nerd. I'd listen to the soundtrack. I was prepped and ready. I had emotionally prepped my mom for the show. My brother kind of knew what was going on just because he'd watched South Park and he knew it was the South Park people, so he got the vibe. And my dad was like, yeah, this show, I've heard the songs on the Broadway station. They sing that song about hello with the doorbells, and he listed like I Believe or some other songs that are not as inappropriate as the other one. And I was like, Dad, I need you to know that there is a lot of inappropriate stuff in the show. And he's like, it's fine. It's going to be totally fine. And we get like to intermission and I'm freaking out. And my dad's going to be like, why did you take me to this? But he loved it. So, and then he saw it again without me, which was rude, but c'est la vie. Do you guys have any favorite shows out there? Maybe shows at the no, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, or just shows in general? I'm just talking.
Zach mentioned earlier the show that they're putting on right now.
Ooh,
The
Feast?
Yes.
Feast. Yes, that is a show going on right now.
Or soon.
Soon? No, it's happening now.
Is it happening now?
Yeah.
Great.
That is really cool because it was like the way that they staged it and did everything was to be done online. So that's really cool because it's not like they kind of just took a show and then they were like, oh, we're gonna put it on the internet now. They really like specifically designed that show to be done in an online platform. So it's really, really cool. It's a really unique experience. So that's definitely something to look into if you've been starved for theater, because I have. If you're also here, I'm sure you have, or you're just a random person. Hi, welcome.
I don't know. I lost the chat.
You're good.
Rocked
You're
out
good.
for a second there.
Welcome.
As
As is my ride as the person baking the cookies, I'm going to eat some cookie dough.
beautiful.
Got you. I'm going to wash my hands. So goodbye for a second. Perfect. So what I am going to do, there's a tiny bit left. We'll deal with that later. So my oven has been preheated, so that's nice. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the cookies in the oven for, I'm going to say 8 to 10 minutes. I'm going to kind of eyeball them. Snickerdoodles are a little tricky because they have this coating on the outside that is kind of brown. So you might think that they are burnt when in reality they're not burnt. They're just covered in cinnamon. So you just want to make sure that they're like done mostly so that you don't give yourself salmonella, or give yourself salmonella. That's your right. So also, I really can't think that I could just promote giving yourself salmonella. So I'm not promoting that. That was a joke. Just making that clear. Great. While we're doing that, we're going to make some drinks. Ooh, because you know what always goes good with sugar? Alcohol. That's what I always say. So we're going to make an apple cider Rita. Can you read that? No, you can't. It's folded over. And you also can't read it because it's far away from you. But I'll try to talk you through it as we do it. This recipe is mostly from Half Baked Harvest, which is a food blog I like to go on. If you ever want to look at just the most gorgeous food with the most insane descriptions, it'll be like chocolate chip cookie crusted caramel velvet cheesecake with cookies on top and inside, and it sings to you. And it'll say stuff like that and then show you the most beautiful food you've ever seen. So it's a great website for that. But we're going to attempt one of her cocktails. So hopefully that goes well. I'm making one for my lovely dear friend Julie over in the corner here and myself. So what we are first going to do is get some ice. What fun. For Anastasia.
Aww. Most beautiful dress I've ever seen in my life.
Yes. So fun fact, I do not own a cocktail shaker, I learned. So what I like to use is my Anastasia cup from when I saw Anastasia on Broadway. Because fun fact, when you see a show on Broadway, they charge you like $22 for a glass of wine. But by God, they give you a cup. So you get this cup, and I'm going to pass it down to my grandchildren because that's a lot of money for a glass of wine. But you're there and you want wine. And you're like, well, I guess I'm paying $22 now. And that's how they get you.
Really enhances frozen.
But wow, really hit up the No guys, because the No, they're great. And they're not going to charge you $22 for a glass of wine. They charge you a reasonable amount. I don't remember. I think it's in the like the $5 to $8 range, depending on what you get, which is much nicer than $22. Excuse me while I put this away. And guess what I forgot? I forgot to put ice in our glasses, so we're just going to grab the other tray. This is what deciding to do things at 10 o'clock at night looks like when you work a job. What?
That's
What's
me.
that? What are you talking about?
I'm not. That's here.
Julie's over in the corner talking
I'm
to
sorry.
herself.
I forgot I could be heard.
I'm cutting your pay. I'm kidding.
No, my drink.
She's not being paid. Her pay is this drink and friendship.
That's all I ever need. And you're refilling it? Wow.
Well, if I don't refill it, I'll like forget, and then I'll go for ice, and then there won't be ice, and then I'll be so sad. Oh, but yes, so yes, we saw Anastasia, and Julie and I were like second row. We got like the discount tickets at the TKTS booth, the Tix booth. I'm not sure how you say it. I don't know, but we got them for really cheap, and we were like second row. And by that point, we'd already had some wine before. And in the first scene, the Tsarina walks out in the sparkliest dress that Fun fact, I Googled this before. A shot glass is not 2 ounces. It is 1.5 ounces, which is weird. My thing says my internet connection is unstable. Well, me too. So we're going to just, so since I'm making these for me and for Julie, we're just doing double. So you know what? Who cares? It's Friday. Anyway, we both work tomorrow. We do both work tomorrow, but I don't work till 10, so I usually work at like 8. So woo! So yes, we tossed in some tequila. We get my other stuff.
Oh, you cut out for a second, but you're back, so it's good.
Okay.
We're good.
Yeah. So if you didn't hear the joke, I'm going to say it again because I was proud of it. It popped up and said your internet connection is unstable, and I was like, well, so am I. Anyway, thank you. I'm here all night. I live here. So we're going to add 4 ounces of apple cider. Great. If these are 1.5 ounces, this is so. Why is it an 1.5 ounces?
I don't know. Honestly,
that's the
dumbest. One time, shot should be 2 ounces. That's what I'm.
That
I'm
really
running on now.
upsets me. That's another thing I learned today. And I'm full of upset. You know what? That's fine. That's plenty. So it called for orange liqueur, but I was like, I'm not going to buy a bottle of orange liqueur for something that I'm just making right now. So I'm going to use orange juice, which is not the same thing. But you know what? Who cares? We're in Emily's kitchen, and in Emily's kitchen, we do our best. Woo! So putting that in there. Say 1 to 2 teaspoons of honey. I don't always like measuring out honey because it's sticky. So I'm just going to dump it in there. That's great. That works. And a lime. I just happened to have this. I forgot this piece of the lime, and I had one.
Wow. You're so much more put together.
I tried. And this lime might be super dead, guys. Super dead lime here. Maybe. I don't know how long I've had this lime.
This is the world you live in. You just kind of go for it, and then
we're doing our best, guys. Listen, we're all living through a pandemic. The world is literally on fire. We're doing our best, and you're doing your best. And if you're watching this out there, I just want you to know that you're doing amazing, and you're beautiful, and people like you and love you. And please stick around.
Alex says she would buy a sticker that says, "In Emily's kitchen, we do our best." So merch is coming, guys.
So merch is happening soon. So I'm mixing this in my cocktail shaker, which is once again my $22 wine glass from Anastasia on Broadway. So because my friend Caitlin, I think she's still here. Yeah. She went to go see The Great Comet, and she told us that when she went to go buy drinks, she thought it was going to be not, just a regular amount of money, and they got 2 Moscow mules, and the girl was like, "That's $50." And Caitlin was like, "What do you mean?" Or it was something insane. And the girl was like, "Well, since you seem genuinely shocked, I'll give you a discount." And so she discounted it for her. So anyway, Broadway theaters, man, they're not messing around. Also, I was going to make the rims really fancy, but it's kind of too late now for that. So if you want to make the rims fancy, just take your glass before you put ice in it, dip it in some water, and then dip it in that same cinnamon sugar we use for the Snickerdoodles. What? That's right. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Wow. An icon.
Okay. You're my taste tester with me.
Baby.
Get the bigger one. Cheers. Let's see if it's good or if it's gross.
Boy, do I love tequila.
It really does just taste like a sweet glass of tequila.
Yeah, which I'm into. It tastes good.
It's really not bad.
Yeah, no, solid 10 out of 10 would drink again.
Yeah, I recommend. So that's
love
fun.
That.
I really wasn't sure because I was like apple cider and tequila. I don't know.
Yeah, orange juice really brings things together, man. And
it really does. Orange juice is the best mixer. And it gives you vitamins.
Truly. That's how I stayed hydrated in college. Screwdrivers, baby.
Screwdrivers, that works. Always a good thing to order if you don't know what to order and you're like, I can't get a vodka cran because that's too basic, which is silly. Because anything that's basic is just something that women enjoy and that people like to put a bad turn on it. But this isn't Emily's feminist corner. It's a different corner. But
I had a pumpkin spice latte today.
Yes, pumpkin spice. You know why people like pumpkin spice? Because it's good. Julie keeps giggling every once in a while and then not telling me what it says.
And I'm worried. Yeah, and it doesn't pertain, but Alex is out here like, shout out your Instagram.
I
And
love
she
that.
said,
Thank
it's
you.
crazy. When I followed her, my income doubled and so did my friends.
Thanks. Yes, that's my cooking Instagram. It's E&M's Kitchen. If you weren't here for earlier, I gave a heartfelt spiel about how you should support the arts. This one will be less heartfelt. I'm kidding. Anyway, give them money. Give them money. They need it. You have money, you can spare it. Come on. That sounds a little mean. But I mean, if you were going to buy a ticket anyway this time of year, the holidays are coming up, send the arts some money. Pick your favorite theater. They would really appreciate it.
Watch Feast.
Yes, watch Feast. That is a way to give money and you get something with it. And I think if you order in advance, they like send you cookies or something, which is amazing. So definitely do that. I think they also have a deal now that you get discounts at like Taps. Great. What are you doing? Buy it. Do it. Sorry, I get more aggressive when I drink. Anyway, I don't know how much time has passed because I haven't been monitoring. That's another thing we do in Emily's Kitchen. We don't set timers, which is sometimes good, sometimes bad. So.
Oh, God bless. Bless. How are they looking?
They're good. Looking good.
Love that.
They look like Snickerdoodles.
Love it. This is on like real talk here. This is
Really good.
This is really good.
Yeah. So that's a nice fall drink. If you're like, I'm going to miss Margs because it's not summer anymore. Nope. You just use apple cider.
Yeah.
It's summer all the time.
Truly, it's just like an apple cider margarita. What makes a margarita a margarita? Like, what's the requirement there? Is it just like
It's
tequila?
Tequila, and then I know there's
is
shout it out in the
it?
chat if you know.
Yeah. You know.
It's the mixer. It's I think it's got like a
Is
fancier
it
name.
sweet sour or something?
It's
No,
not
it
sweet
can't
and
be.
sour.
It can't be. I just assume
It's
every
like
alcohol
it's
is
like
sweet
a
and sour.
lemon lime juice. Is it agave? You could add stuff to it.
Honey and agave
Someone knows, and
interchangeable.
it's not me. Did you spill? She just spilled, guys. We're doing great. But anyway, see, I'm not the type of person that's sad summer is over. Do you need to tell?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just
'Cause I'm
guzzling.
a fall person, hence if you're like, this girl already has her fall stuff up, yes I do. I love fall and it fills me with joy. And I did used to be the type of person that was like a purist that was like, no, we cannot put out the decorations till it's time for the decorations. And then I was like, you know what? The world is a dumpster fire, and if things bring you joy, then we should appreciate and love those things. So if it's going to bring you joy to put out your fall decorations on like August 25th, which is I think when I did it, then do it. Who cares? It makes you happy. It's not harming anyone. And if people are going to be mean to you about it, then that's on them. So
Nakoma's got our back. It's sour mix. And she says
Sour
tequila
mix?
is made from agave.
I was right about. I knew agave was in there.
Nakoma says I get food and the science
She
behind
does.
it.
She does. That's my dear friend Nakoma, who's a real fancy food scientist. She works at Thornton's. So if you've ever been with Thornton's and you've eaten anything, Nakoma has been with you in spirit. So I'm sure she appreciates that description of her job. But yeah, anyway, find things that bring you joy in this world. This is Emily's motivational corner. While we're waiting for those cookies to finish baking. Oh, I was going to talk to you guys about, because I was worried, evidently I'm pretty good at just talking on end to a camera, but I was worried I wasn't going to be. So I was trying to find topics to talk to you about. And one of them was going to just be like Halloween and literature and things like that, which might be boring for some of you. But guys, if you ever want to go on a wild Wikipedia ride, please just look up like how Frankenstein was written, because it also goes in with how the first vampire novel was written, which is really all just about Lord Byron like being the worst, and it's all very petty and it's all super dramatic. So if you ever want to just be at work going like, oh my God, I can't believe Caroline Lamb did that in 1812, and everyone just kind of stares at you at work, definitely a really fun ride to take. So let me check on the cookies. Okay.
Caitlin says that if you ever write a book, it should be called Snickerdoodle Sugar on a Tequila Glass. So
Snickerdoodle
I'm
Sugar
getting
on a
pumped for the
tequila
novel,
glass.
Emily.
Great. One day when I write the next great American novel, that's all I'm writing. I'm writing nothing else.
Everyone's real into your support of the chickens too. So I think you started a movement
Oh, to support the chickens?
called Support the Chickens. So.
Listen, guys, if you can spare it, the chickens are much happier in a pasture even if it says like cage free, that just means they're not in cages. It doesn't necessarily mean they have a lot of space. But if they're pasture raised, that means they're like out on the meadows. And it's probably still sad because once again, they are using animals to give you a product, but might be a little less sad. Thank you. So yes, we got them out and I definitely just put them over there and I said, screw the viewers, they don't need to see. I'm kidding. So because of where they were placed in the oven, these ones were on top, so they're a little browner. I can't really tilt them too much because they're hot and they'll burn me. And then these ones were on the bottom part, so they are not as brown, but they're probably still fine. Oh, I'm gonna turn that off.
So pumped to eat it.
We're gonna eat them in a second, and you guys are gonna watch us eat them. So if you have that, truly, it's a real thing. Like when I would listen to podcasts and I was like, they're so stupid, they forget words. It's a real thing when you're kind of on the spot. Is it misophonia? I think that's it. When you're scared of people eating.
Life.
You don't like the sound of people eating?
Oh, but sorry.
Oh, forgetting words.
Forgetting words.
Yes. No. Misophonia, I think, is when you don't like the sound of people eating.
Oh, yeah.
So if you don't like that, I mean, you're far away. You, the camera. You probably won't hear us eating, but maybe you will.
If you really want it, she can get closer. I mean, right up on that mic, she would
just make
get
you
those
feel really
views, Emily.
uncomfortable.
Oh,
that's what I like to do with the viewers. I like to make them uncomfortable.
Make them uncomfortable. Your little alcohol corner.
My little, okay, so if you can see, I have an alcohol corner. One of the, also fun family story. So, my dad, I don't know if he's here, but anyway, if you're here, hello, Dad. My dad made these for us. I think we have like 3 of them in the family. We saw a picture on like Pinterest of someone who did this and they were like ombre candy corn wine bottles and stuff. My dad just like taped some duct tape and just made it, and like they're really cute, but my mom was like, I wanted them to be ombre, and he was like, well, this is what I made Mary. And like, so these are what we have, but they're cute and they make me happy.
Candy corn. Underrated snack.
Okay, in the chat, we're throwing it out to you guys. Do you like candy corn or do you think it's gross? And if you think it's gross, why do you hate happiness? Anyway. Yes, that is the alcohol corner for now. I kind of just acquire alcohol sometimes. People bring it to me, which is really nice. But then I end up with like, I have so much seltzer in my fridge. Thank you, Zach. It was real nice. I have so much seltzer now, though. I still have White Claws from like a month ago. Do White Claws go bad?
I think, yeah. Do they skunk like beer does?
I feel like they have to.
Because
I feel like all carbonated things go bad.
In my household, they get
drunk. And you know what?
You get drunk.
Drunk?
Drink?
Yeah, drunk.
Drunk has to be, right? Who knows?
Drunk?
All right, we got a love candy corn from Caitlin.
Love candy corn.
Nakoma is not a fan.
Nakoma.
She calls it
Disrespect.
an abomination. And those were back to back. So
okay, no. I watched Nakoma Earhart one time eat. I'm sorry, I just dropped your last name. I shouldn't have done it. And I apologize, Fred.
She's in the chat. So
she's in the chat. Great. Anyway, so you're already here, and I've just told everyone about you. I watched you one time eat a peanut butter cookie with mint chocolate chip ice cream on it, hon. So
she said it is the mint julep candy of the world.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. But Lord knows, Caitlin loves mint julep.
People love the mint julep, man. They have it at the Derby. I don't love it.
Angela said respect the corn, and
respect
that candy corn did nothing wrong. I love candy corn.
I know. I feel like people really just give it like some vehement hatred. I mean, it's not like I don't understand. It's like very intense.
Give me like a Twix and candy corn. Like I'm not gonna go for the candy corn. But
if
it's in a bowl.
It's fun.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, eating the little bits. Love it.
It is really cute.
Just a color at a time.
I love a candy corn decoration. It makes me so happy.
Yes. Or a sweater. Oh, that sweater.
Oh, that one sweater, guys.
Yes.
If you have a moment, go on Unique Vintage. I'm just dropping fucking websites. They should be paying me. They have the cutest. It sells out every time. This like striped sweater that's candy corn colors. They restocked it a couple days ago. I was gonna order it, and then I realized with shipping it was gonna be like $74, and I was like, I cannot justify a $74 cardigan, but it's really cute.
All right.
Okay. Our moments of truth.
Okay.
You can have this one.
Thank you. My hand's really getting some time here.
So yes, Julie, a hand model as well. Ooh. I'm gonna cheers the cookies.
Cheers the cookies.
Cheers the cookies.
Ooh, yeah, hell yeah. Yo,
That turned out good.
that's amazing. 10 out of 10.
I think this was well over the 30 minutes that I told Henry that this was going to be. And I apologize for that. But you know what? I gave the people some entertainment tonight. So I think we're getting close to signing off here. Once again, want to plug. Go watch Feast. Give the No some money. They might give you cookies and there's a show and it's a good time. Or just give them money if you don't want to see a show. I mean, you should want to see a show, but if you don't, that's fine. Give the arts money. They need it right now. Also, thank you to the sponsors because they gave money, and that's great, and we love that. But really, it does mean a lot. The support is so important, especially right now when everything is super, super weird. Just be kind and good. World peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. So again, thank you to our sponsor for tonight, Joe Mock and the Real Pro team over at Cutler Real Estate. Give them a call if you're looking for a new home. We appreciate their support of the arts. Again, I am Henry Bateman, the technical director here at The Know. And I would like to thank our graphic designer for our Play Underground series, Kayla Williams, Liz Carmen, our communications manager, Megan Winters, our production stage manager here at The Know, Zach Robinson, our artistic and community relations manager, who is also the Play Underground producer and just got engaged and kept all of those fire chats coming over on Facebook. So thank you to Zach for all of that, and congratulations on your engagement to Alex. And then, of course, thank you to our Associate Artistic Director, Tamara Winters, and our Executive Producer and Artistic Director, Andrew Hungerford. I'm lucky to have such a wonderful team, and we're lucky to have such wonderful guests. So again, thank you to Emily and Julia. And if you are interested in seeing Feast, which is out right now, go ahead and head over to the No Theater website. You can go ahead and pick up your tickets there, www.notheater.com. And we would love to have you see one of our shows. Thank you all. Have a good night.